Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If sign-in system in high school DxD. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name in the description below. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also, a quick update, the stories, What If Reborn in Naruto World and What If Transmigrated as Harry Potter, are going on hold soon, as we have almost caught up with the author. So once again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what the next project should be on this channel. I'm currently deciding between these three fanfics. What if becoming a mangaka in One Piece world? What if dragon deck user in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal? What if transmigrated as a Kanto gym leader? I will be setting up a poll for this, so please vote in the poll and let me know which two stories you'd like to see next on the channel. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 81, God of the Bible and the Emperor Beast 666. Ding! Black grade gift bag opened successfully. Congratulations, host, for obtaining one space-time travel card. It seems I've obtained something incredible. Since it's related to space-time, it must be something like teleportation or time travel. System, explain the function of this card. I commanded. Ding! The space-time travel card allows the host to travel to any point in the past within the current world. Hearing the system's explanation, I still had some doubts. System, if I were to travel to the past, wouldn't my extended absence cause problems in the present? Ding! The host doesn't need to worry. When the host travels to the past, time in the present world will be temporarily frozen until the host returns. Therefore, there won't be any impact on the present. I was relieved to hear that. It sounded quite interesting. I pulled out the space-time travel card and, looking at it, crushed it. The shattered card emitted a blinding light, and then a strange, blue, swirling vortex of time and space appeared before me. Looking at the vortex, I muttered to myself and stepped into it. My figure vanished. I wonder what time period I'll end up in. This is exciting. After a moment of disorientation, I arrived in a dark and silent place. An invisible force seemed to press down on me, making me feel uneasy. Suddenly, I heard a roar that sent chills down my spine. I used my senses to scan the area and discovered two incredibly powerful auras locked in fierce combat. One aura radiated holy light, while the other was filled with a murderous, tyrannical energy. I instantly realized where I was. See, could this be the time of the Great War between the three factions? If I wasn't mistaken, the owners of these two auras that were causing me such immense pressure were the strongest god in the DxD universe, leader of angels, the god of the Bible, and the other was definitely the equally exceptional Emperor Beast of Apocalypse 666. I couldn't believe I had actually traveled to this point in time. I should stay back and observe for now. I'm not strong enough to get involved in this fight, I thought to myself, cautiously approaching the battlefield. When I finally reached the battlefield, I was stunned by what I saw. A monstrous beast, over a kilometer in size, was locked in combat with a being of pure light. The beast's body was a grotesque fusion of various creatures, and it had 7 heads. One head was like a dragon. Another was like a leopard. Another was like a bear. Another was like a tiger. But the most striking feature of the beast was the 10 horns on its head, forming a crown-like structure. And on that crown, I could clearly see 3 numbers. 666. This was its name. It was clearly recorded in the Bible's book of Revelation. It was the Beast Emperor 666. The one that had destroyed ancient times and represented the apocalypse in several eras. On the other side, the God of the Bible radiated pure, holy light. Although it was dazzling, it gave me a feeling of warmth. But the next moment, when I saw the God of the Bible's appearance, I was stunned. It was a petite girl with long, golden hair that cascaded down her shoulders, shimmering like sunlight. Her eyes were clear and bright, as if they could see into the depths of one's soul. She looked incredibly cute, almost illegally so. The God of the Bible is a loli? I gasped, my mind reeling. It took an explosion some time later to snap me out of it. But thinking back to the fan theories from my previous life, and considering the enthusiastic and action-packed, and female character-focused nature of the DxD world, I quickly accepted this reality. But I can't just stand here and watch such a cute lowly goddess die. Just as I was thinking about how to help the biblical lowly goddess, the system issued 2 new tasks. Ding! Discovered target character, God of the Bible. Task grade, Gold. Task condition, change her fate of death. Ding! Discovered target character, Beast Emperor 666. Task grade, Gold. Task condition, defeat, seal, or kill. This is perfect, I thought to myself. However, although I had already reached the Mao class, and with the true dragon bloodline I could hold my own against a super devil for a while, I was still utterly outmatched in the face of the God of the Bible and the Beast Emperor 660 CXS battle. I couldn't help but sigh. It seems I have to use my trump card. But I'll observe for a bit longer first. Watching the clash between the lowly goddess and the Beast Emperor 666, each collision of energy unleashing massive explosions, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. Powerful, I murmured, awestruck. As expected of the top strongest beings in the DxD world. The aftershocks of their casual attacks were enough to make me use all my strength to resist. Then, I summoned Excalibur, and used its power to create a defensive barrier for myself. But to my surprise, sensing the holy aura of Excalibur, both the lowly goddess and the Beast Emperor 666 paused their fight momentarily. The lowly goddess was a little surprised, because she could sense the holy aura emanating from Excalibur. The Beast Emperor 666, as the embodiment of tyranny and darkness, loathed this kind of bright, holy aura. One of the Beast Emperor 660 CXS heads suddenly turned towards me, its eyes locking onto mine with terrifying intensity. Then, a torrent of blood-red energy gathered in that head's mouth, and it fired a beam directly at me. The destructive red energy obliterated everything in its path. Its power was such that even the current top 10 strongest beings in the world would have to go all out to defend against it. And this was just a casual attack from one of the Beast Emperor's 660 CXS heads. That thing attacked me just because it sensed the holy sword? Seeing the rapidly approaching red beam, I gripped Excalibur tightly, preparing to block. Chapter 82, Teasing the Biblical Lowly Goddess, How Wonderful! The moment the crimson beam of destructive energy reached me, I unleashed the full power of Excalibur, meeting the attack head-on. The instant the golden slash collided with the crimson energy beam. Boom! A deafening explosion ripped through the air, sending powerful shockwaves in all directions. Engulfed by the earth-shattering blast, my figure vanished completely. When the smoke cleared, my figure gradually reappeared, but my clothes were tattered, and I looked quite pathetic. Damn! Is this the power of the strongest beings in this world? No wonder there are only a few beings who are beyond transcendence. Their power is simply outrageous. In the world of DxD, the strongest was undoubtedly the Great Red. Next was the adorable Ophis. These two could be considered to be the true peak of power in this world. And while the biblical lowly goddess and the Beast Emperor 666 were weaker than those two, they still belonged to the highest echelon of power. Below them were the transcendent gods and super devils, the two heavenly dragons. And so on. Even those beings could easily destroy the earth. Sigh, it seems I still have a long way to go before I can reach their level. I couldn't help but feel a little discouraged. From a distance, the Beast Emperor 666, seeing that I hadn't been killed by a single strike, its pupils reflecting unprecedented ferocity. Roar! With a mighty roar, the Beast Emperor 666 charged at me. Despite its nearly 1,000-meter-long body, it moved with surprising agility, its speed so great that it was practically invisible, the ground beneath it cracking with each step. The Beast Emperor 660's CXS speed was astonishing, leaving afterimages in its wake. Even hurricane-force winds whipped up behind it. Even I was surprised. I hadn't expected this creature to be so fast despite its enormous size. Caught off guard, I could only stare in disbelief as the Beast Emperor 660's CXS 7 maws, filled with razor-sharp teeth, lunged towards me. It was too late to react. Then, with a flash of killing intent in my eyes, I was about to activate Susanoo, when suddenly, a holy light appeared before me. In the next instant, a torrent of holy attacks rained down. Boom! 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 The Beast Emperor 666 didn't even have time to react before it was bombarded by this barrage of energy, its entire body engulfed in the resulting smoke and explosions. The roars of pain from the Beast Emperor could be heard within the smoke. I deactivated my Rinnegan and looked up at the biblical lowly goddess in the sky. I hadn't expected her to save me at the last moment. Human child, it seems you are the one recognized by the sword of the planet. However, this battle is not something you can participate in. Please, leave immediately. Then, the biblical lowly goddess's voice rang out. Her voice was clear and melodious, with each word seemingly carrying an infinite tenderness. So cute. The lowly goddess is too cute to be real. I thought as I beheld her up close, slightly dazed by her adorable form. What? Lowly goddess? The biblical lowly goddess froze in midair. She was the strongest goddess, revered and respected by all. No one had ever dared to speak to her in such a way. She had found my initial comment about her being cute a little strange, but she had maintained her composure. But the second I called her lowly goddess, she snapped. The biblical lowly goddess clenched her small fists, her face puffed up in anger as she glared at me. You dare speak to me with such impudence? I am not a lowly goddess. You human! Stop giving me such ridiculous nicknames. Hearing this, I rubbed my head sheepishly and apologized. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself. You're so adorable. The biblical lowly goddess's expression softened slightly, and she stared at me intently. But just then, that sneak, the Beast Emperor 666, suddenly attacked. A giant, pitch-black claw lashed out, its power seemingly capable of tearing the sky itself. Crap! Faced with the Beast Emperor 666's attack, the lowly goddess was caught off guard and was directly struck by the claw, sent flying. And before she could recover, the Beast Emperor 666 pressed its attack, quickly gaining the upper hand. Seeing the biblical lowly goddess being pushed back repeatedly, and seeing the defensive spell in front of me, I couldn't help but feel moved. She's protecting me, even while fighting that monster. It seems I've made things difficult for her. What have I done? Then, with my magic power surging, I unleashed my complete body. Susanoo, its form nearly 1,000 meters tall, rivaling even the Beast Emperor 666 in size. Blue magic power erupted from my body like a torrent, engulfing everything around me. As the magic power burned furiously, I had undoubtedly reached the level of a transcendent/super devil. The lowly goddess and the Beast Emperor 666, who were still fighting, were once again drawn to my sudden burst of power. Seeing the massive Susanoo, even the lowly goddess couldn't help but be a little surprised, while the Beast Emperor 666 seemed agitated. Without giving the Beast Emperor 666 any chance to react, I raised the 100-meter-long greatsword and slashed down, sending the massive Beast Emperor 666 flying with a single blow. The Beast Emperor 666, sent flying, roared in fury, as if it wanted to destroy the entire world. I controlled Susanoo, then looked at the adorable and non-threatening biblical lowly goddess and smiled. Hee lowly goddess, let's do this together. The lowly goddess pouted, her face red and puffed up like an angry kitten. I told you not to call me lowly goddess. I muttered under my breath, sigh. Why doesn't she like this nice nickname? Hearing this, a dangerous glint flashed in the lowly goddess's amber eyes, and she stared at me intently. Seeing her murderous gaze, I coughed nervously, then put on a serious expression. Ahem. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Kyoya Habari. Since you don't like lowly goddess, how about I call you Holy-chan or just Holy? How does that sound? The lowly goddess looked a little exasperated, then she stared at me with amusement. Holy-chan. Holy. That's acceptable. You can call me that from now on. Ever since she was born as the strongest goddess, no one had dared to address her so casually. But it seemed Kyoya had the audacity to do so. But it felt kind of interesting. Chapter 83, Unkillable? Let's try Mystic Eyes of Death Perception. The lowly goddess didn't seem to mind my teasing. In fact, she seemed rather amused by it. Looking at the now recovered Beast Emperor 666, I suggested, Holy-chan, I'll provide support. You look for an opportunity to inflict a serious injury on the Beast Emperor. The lowly goddess continued to attack the Beast Emperor 666, while reminding me, the Beast Emperor's is only slightly weaker than me. Are you sure you can handle this? Hearing the lowly goddess's concern, I just smiled. Don't ask a man if he's up to it. Just watch and see. Then, I activated the Gate of Babylon. The dark sky was instantly filled with dazzling golden ripples. Moments later, countless exquisitely crafted noble phantasms rained down like arrows, targeting the Beast Emperor 666. The noble phantasms pierced the void, moving at incredible speeds. The Beast Emperor 666's body was enormous, and it didn't bother dodging this kind of attack. As a result, a large number of noble phantasms struck its body. Boom! Boom! The Beast Emperor 666 was enveloped in a massive column of light, and explosions rang out one after another. However, I knew that this level of attack wouldn't be enough to seriously injure the Beast Emperor 666. So, the barrage from the Gate of Babylon was just a distraction. The real killing blow would come from the lowly goddess. I had to create an opportunity for her to severely injure the beast. While the Gate of Babylon was still bombarding the Beast Emperor 666, my Susanoo began to charge its attack. The four giant swords of Susanoo rapidly accumulated magic power, and with the addition of countless bolts of lightning, the aura of destruction radiating from it grew stronger and stronger. He has this much power? Unbelievable! Seeing the power gathering in my Susanoo, even the lowly goddess's expression changed. Roar! Sensing a hint of danger from my aura, the Beast Emperor 666 roared furiously. It stopped paying attention to the noble phantasms and started charging up its own attack. In the next instant, the Beast Emperor 666's body glowed with a crimson light. A terrifying, bloody energy erupted. Its already immense aura continued to climb. Seeing the Beast Emperor 666 gathering its power, the lowly goddess's eyes narrowed. She immediately unleashed several divine spells, striking the Beast Emperor 666 and forcibly interrupting its power-up. Seeing its attack interrupted, the Beast Emperor 666 roared at the lowly goddess. It sounded as if it was saying, "You sneaky little. 2 against 1 and you're still using dirty tricks? This is outrageous." Just then, my Susanoo, having finished charging, suddenly launched a sneak attack of its own against the Beast Emperor 666. In the next instant, 400-meter-long swords struck the Beast Emperor 666. Destructive blue-violet waves of energy radiated from the blades, causing everyone's hearts to pound. Boom! An explosion erupted. Countless bolts of lightning roared from the 4 giant blades. The lightning rained down on the Beast Emperor 666, causing it to howl in pain. Then, the 4 great swords struck the Beast Emperor 666's body, leaving 4 massive wounds. The Beast Emperor 666 howled in agony, its blood splattering everywhere. Holy-chan, now! It's your turn! I immediately shouted to the lowly goddess. Seeing this, the lowly goddess immediately unleashed thousands of divine spells, all sorts of attacks completely engulfing the Beast Emperor 666. Boom! 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 An instant later, a vortex of extremely destructive holy power formed. Then, several beams of golden light erupted, shooting into the sky. This was followed by continuous explosions and the Beast Emperor 666's pain roars. After a moment, the Beast Emperor 666's massive body was severely wounded. Just as the two of them were about to breathe a sigh of relief, the Beast Emperor 666's wounds began to heal rapidly. Its broken body was regenerating at a visible rate. Seeing this scene, the lowly goddess frowned, frustrated. This creature's vitality is outrageous. It seems we can only seal it. Hearing this, I also frowned, staring at the recovering Beast Emperor 666. With such terrifying vitality, it's no wonder Holy-chan was only able to seal the Beast Emperor 666, even at the cost of her own life. It's basically unkillable. It seems I have no choice but to use the Azure Dragon's power. Otherwise, Holy-chan will still die in the war between the three factions. Just as I was about to unleash my trump card, a sudden thought crossed my mind. Wait a minute, didn't I just obtain the Mystic Eyes of Death perception? How could I forget about this trump card? Then, I looked at the Beast Emperor 666, a look of excitement on my face. Hee, you say you have strong vitality? You have amazing defenses? Let's see if you can survive my causality-defying ultimate weapon. Then, I switched from my Rinnegan to the Mystic Eyes of Death perception and looked at the lowly goddess. Holy-chan, help me slow it down. As long as I can get close to it, I have a way to deal with the Beast Emperor. Hearing my words, the lowly goddess's mouth twitched. Kyoya, are you kidding? Even I can't kill it. You're saying you can defeat it? Hee. I just chuckled. Then, I revealed my Mystic Eyes of Death perception and described their abilities to her. After hearing about the ability of my eyes, the lowly goddess's eyes widened in astonishment. She couldn't help but stare. To think such mystic eyes exist. How incredible. I understand. I'll restrain the Beast Emperor. Be careful. After saying that, the lowly goddess charged towards the Beast Emperor 666, unleashing the highest level of binding spells. Instantly, the Beast Emperor 666 was restrained, unable to move. At the same time, I focused my Mystic Eyes of Death perception, seeing the lines of death on the Beast Emperor's body. However, because the Beast Emperor's 660 CXS level and life force were so much higher than mine, the lines and points of death on its body were incredibly thick and seemed to flicker in and out of existence. I needed the Sword of Promised Victory to sever them. Holy-chan, keep it restrained. I'm going in. After shouting a warning to the lowly goddess, I locked onto the lines of death on the Beast Emperor's 660 CXS body, memorizing their positions, and then charged forward without hesitation. The restrained Beast Emperor 666, seeing me approach, felt a strong sense of impending doom. It roared and struggled to break free. But it had already been severely wounded, and it was still recovering. Plus, with the lowly goddess continued to suppress it with her divine power. It had no chance of escaping. Slash! A sound echoed through the dimension as I used the Sword of Promised Victory to sever the lines of death on the Beast Emperor's 660 CXS body with all my might. Even if the Beast Emperor 666 struggled, it couldn't resist its own demise. It vanished from existence, its body dissolving into particles. Chapter 84, First Golden Reward. A great surprise. With its lines of death severed, the Beast Emperor 666 could clearly sense its impending demise. It roared in defiance, but in the end, its body dissolved into particles of light, vanishing into the sky. Ding! Congratulations to the host for slaying the Beast Emperor 666. Reward, 1 gold grade gift bag. Hearing the system notification that the task was complete, I was finally certain that the Beast Emperor 666 was dead. After all, the Beast Emperor 660 CXS life level was higher than mine, and its lines of death had been flickering in and out of existence. I wasn't entirely sure if I had actually managed to kill it. Just as I was letting out a sigh of relief, I suddenly felt a sense of rejection from the surrounding spacetime. Rejection? I was startled. Could it be that by killing the Beast Emperor 666, I prevented the lowly goddess from being seriously injured, thus altering the course of future events? But why haven't I been rejected from this timeline? System, what's going on? Ding! Although the host has altered the course of events, as long as you can ensure that the outcome of the Great War between the three factions remains the same, you can still remain in this timeline. I see. Holy-chan, Then, I approached the lowly goddess, intending to reveal my identity, when I was suddenly interrupted. "You're from the future, aren't you?" The lowly goddess looked at me curiously, surprise evident in her voice. How did you figure that out?" I was stunned. I hadn't expected the lowly goddess to see through my identity. "Humph. I am the strongest goddess. At first, I had my suspicions about your identity, but that spacetime rejection is undeniable proof. It seems you interfered in my fight with the Beast Emperor, changing the original outcome of events, and that's why you're experiencing this." Hearing this, the lowly goddess crossed her arms, looking quite proud of her deduction. "In fact, if I hadn't intervened, Holy-chan, you would have barely managed to seal the Beast Emperor 666 at the cost of being seriously injured, which would have significantly diminished your power. News of your severe injury would have reached the underworld devils, and the original 4 great satans of the underworld, leading all the devils, along with the fallen angels, would have launched the final war against heaven. The 2 heavenly dragons, Albion and Drag, would have suddenly intruded upon the battlefield. The 3 factions would have joined forces to eliminate the 2 heavenly dragons. And you, in your weakened state, would have forcefully created the Longinus, ultimately dying alongside the 4 great satans." I explained, revealing the original course of events. The lowly goddess nodded thoughtfully, then asked, "But why haven't you been rejected by this timeline?" she asked. I then explained the situation to her. "I see, I must find a way to disappear from everyone's sight during the war between the 3 factions, as in the future, or find a way to hide." Holy mused. After thinking it over, the lowly goddess smiled and gave her answer. Exclamation point. "Holy-chan, it's a long time until the present day. Won't you be lonely if you disappear and hide for so long? Also, that's just based on my one-sided account. Aren't you afraid I'm lying to you?" How should I put it? After all, you are the one chosen by the sword of the planet, so I decided to trust you. Besides, I've grown tired of life in heaven. I want to follow you and experience some of the joys of this world." The lowly goddess smiled at me, her eyes fixed on mine. "Holy-chan, you're really too cute." Seeing the lowly goddess like this, I couldn't help but hug her. Exclamation point. What are you doing?" Suddenly being hugged by me, the lowly goddess froze, not reacting for a moment. At this moment, the lowly goddess widened her eyes, looking incredibly surprised. She had never been hugged like this. The lowly goddess quickly pushed me away, her beautiful face flushed red. But it wasn't from anger, but rather, from shyness. Cough, cough. I just couldn't help myself. Holy-chan is just too cute. I couldn't help myself. It's a habit. Just a habit. My words made the lowly goddess's face even redder. She didn't speak immediately, but glanced at me, huffed, and said with a pout, "You are not allowed to treat me like a child. I am a goddess, the strongest goddess." I nodded repeatedly in agreement. Yes, yes. The strongest lowly goddess. The lowly goddess gritted her teeth in annoyance, glaring at me. This insufferable brat, he's teasing me again. Let's go. Come with me back to heaven. The lowly goddess calmed herself and said. Hearing that we were going to heaven, I was a little excited. After all, that was the angels' headquarters. Suddenly remembering something, I quickly said to the lowly goddess, "Holy-chan, can you help me conceal my identity? The peace conference between the 3 factions is coming up soon, and I don't want Michael and his angel followers to recognize me." The lowly goddess casually waved her hand, and a holy spell enveloped me. After a moment, when the light faded, the lowly goddess explained, "This should do it. Except for those 2, no one will remember your appearance." I nodded in satisfaction. In the blink of an eye, the lowly goddess and I were about to arrive in heaven. During this time, I also opened my first gold reward. System, quick! Open the gold gift bag. After saying that, I mentally chanted, Amat Buddha, bless me, heaven help me, earth protect me. Ding! Gold gift bag opened successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 life level plus 1 evolution card. Yes. As expected of a gold gift bag, it was truly high level. It gave me something amazing. Although I was already quite strong, I was still fundamentally human. Even though I had a trace of the true dragon bloodline, it still wasn't enough for me. After all, in different worlds, it wasn't just about how strong you were. There were always dangers. Look at Goku from Dragon Ball. He was incredibly powerful, capable of breaking the dimensional barrier. But despite that power, he almost died from a heart disease once, and even during his fight with Frieza, he was nearly killed by a sneak attack with a small pistol. It was just ridiculous. Therefore, increasing my life level was very important to me. Those with high life levels could even resist curses and causality-based weapons. After all, I plan to travel to other worlds in the future. If I encountered someone else with the mystic eyes of death perception or similar causality weapons, wouldn't I be finished? Chapter 85, Arrival in Heaven, the Adorable Gabriel. After receiving the life level upgrade reward, all my problems seemed to vanish. Since my concerns had been addressed, my next step was to master the Azure Dragon power, to be able to wield it freely and at will. However, now wasn't the time to use the life level evolution card. Because we had arrived in heaven. A bright light flashed before my eyes, and I slowly opened them, looking around curiously. The scenery of heaven was breathtaking. Lush green mountains, crystal clear lakes, and a pure, holy aura that made me feel incredibly comfortable and relaxed. Taking a deep breath, I relaxed completely, then turned to the lowly goddess and said, "Holy-chan, I could live here forever. I don't want to leave." The lowly goddess raised her chin slightly, a proud expression on her face. Isn't it beautiful? This is my masterpiece. Seeing this, I smiled mischievously and tested her. Then, "Holy-chan, could you build a place like this for me too? A bigger one, preferably. After all, I have quite a few wives." The lowly goddess's proud expression instantly vanished, and she froze. After a moment, she turned her head slowly, her gaze fixed on me, but she couldn't find the words to respond. Seeing the lowly goddess stunned into silence, I said awkwardly, I was just kidding, Holy-chan. Don't take it seriously." Of course, I was just joking. Rias and the others wouldn't be able to survive in heaven, with its intensely concentrated holy aura. Just then, numerous golden magic circles appeared, and a large group of pure-blood angels, even seraphim, emerged. To my surprise, there were far more than 4 seraphim with 12 wings. It seemed that many seraphim had fallen or become fallen angels during the Great War, like Azazel. I immediately recognized a few of them. Leading the group was the Archangel Michael, heaven's second-in-command. Beside him was another female angel, who was undoubtedly Gabriel, another of the 4 great seraphim. Although I had never met Gabriel before, I could easily guess her identity from her appearance. She had sky-blue eyes and long, flowing golden hair, and her stunning figure, especially her ample bosom, combined with her innocent, slightly airheaded personality, made her incredibly beautiful. She was beauty personified. At the same time, Gabriel radiated a gentle and peaceful aura, an inherent charm that made it impossible to feel any ill will towards her. Why are you staring so intently? What, have you fallen for Gabriel?" The lowly goddess looked at me, a playful glint in her eyes. "Well, if Holy-chan bestowed Gabriel upon me as a wife, I'll gratefully accept," I replied with a grin. Hearing this, even the lowly goddess couldn't help but twitch her mouth, then huffed. "In your dreams. You already have so many women, now you want my seraph too?" I just shrugged, not at all discouraged. After all, it was to be expected. All right. Meanwhile, Michael and the other angels had arrived before us. Seeing me covered in holy light, they were surprised. They hadn't expected their lord to be so attentive to a human. Then, they withdrew their gazes and knelt before the lowly goddess, saluting her. "My lord, we welcome you back to heaven." The lowly goddess simply waved her hand and instructed them, "Rise." After the angels stood up, Michael couldn't help but ask with some concern, "My lord, how did your battle against the Beast Emperor go?" The lowly goddess pretended to be serious. "Don't worry. With my efforts, and with the help of my friend here, the Beast Emperor has been eliminated. The crisis has passed. Hearing this, Michael and the other angels were speechless with shock. Defeated the Beast Emperor 666? Is that something a human can really do? That was the Beast Emperor 666, a being that possessed world-destroying power. Hadn't the Lord said previously that she could only seal it? If it hadn't come from the Lord's mouth, they would never have believed it. Then, Michael and the other angels looked at me, finally understanding why this human was considered to be the Lord's friend. It seems he might actually be as powerful as the Lord. Thinking of this, Michael and the other angels couldn't help but gasp. They couldn't believe there was such a powerful existence among humans. Alright, because of the battle against the Beast Emperor, I've been severely injured and need to recuperate. Michael, I'm entrusting all matters in heaven to you while I rest. Also, Gabriel, arrange a place for my friend to stay near my palace. Hearing this, Michael and Gabriel responded in unison. Yes, my lord. But the angels were still curious, staring at me intently, becoming even more interested in my identity. Especially Gabriel, with her adorable, slightly airheaded demeanor. Her expression alone was enough to make my heart flutter. Soon, Gabriel led me to a residence near the lowly goddess's palace. As Gabriel was leaving, I checked the new system tasks. Discovered target character, Michael, task grade, black, task condition, as the deputy ruler of heaven, one should be able to stand on one's own 2 feet. After the God of the Bible disappears, help him restore and take control of the system of heaven. Discovered target character, Gabriel, task grade, black, task condition, what's a harem without a maid to take care of the host? Recruit Gabriel as a maid. Recruit Gabriel as a maid? But that'll only work, the lowly goddess agrees. If she doesn't agree, I might just have to kidnap her too. But the lowly goddess is too proud. It looks like I'll have to take it slow. I have plenty of time. As for Michael's task. TSK, this Michael is also a sad case. The lowly goddess tricked him into doing almost all of heaven's work. When the lowly goddess wasn't around, he still had to manage everything in heaven. He really had it rough. After the lowly goddess died, heaven's operational system was paralyzed. But after I evolve a bit, I should be able to help him restore it. This task is a piece of cake. Thinking about the problems with heaven's system, I suddenly remembered Irina. I seem to have promised Irina something. I'll have to ask the lowly goddess about it. With that thought, I flew towards Holy's palace. Chapter 86, The Threat of the Overworld's Evil Gods. To fulfill my promise to Irina, I went to the lowly goddess's palace. As soon as I entered the main hall, I saw this lowly goddess sprawled out on her throne like a lazy bum. Seeing this, I couldn't help but comment, if your followers knew that the goddess they worship was like this, they'd probably lose it. Seeing me barge in unannounced, the lowly goddess pouted, a little annoyed. Why did you suddenly come here without any warning? If I had announced myself, I wouldn't have caught you slacking off. I thought to myself. Actually, I have something I want to ask Holy-chan about. I was hoping you could help me out. Hearing my words, the lowly goddess perked up. She stood up. You need my help? Interesting. Tell me more. I felt a little embarrassed and said quietly, one of my wives is a devout follower of yours. I promised her I'd turn her into an angel. So, I was wondering if Holy-chan could give me some of heaven's holy energy. I want to help her fulfill this wish. After a moment of silence, the lowly goddess looked at me meaningfully. Finally, she nodded. You're quite something. Fine. I'll give you some pure energy later. It'll be enough to turn your wife into an angel. Hearing the lowly goddess's answer, I smiled and stroked her head. As expected of the cutest and most generous goddess. You're so reliable! Exclamation point. What are you doing? The lowly goddess froze, startled by my sudden action. She swatted my hand away, her face bright red, sputtering in indignation. Damn it! You're treating me like a child again. She recalled our first meeting. Seeing the lowly goddess's flustered reaction, I quickly changed the subject. Holy-chan, since you're planning to retire, what will you do about the upcoming war between the three factions? Hearing my question, the lowly goddess glared at me, then said with a mischievous glint in her eyes, since you caused this, you'll have to fix it. Hearing this, I twitched my mouth. If that's the case, when the Great War happens, just follow the original plot. Defeat the 2 heavenly dragons first, then fake your death and go into hiding after you clash with the 4 great Satans. I said, sighing. The lowly goddess nodded. After all, to maintain the original course of the world, this was the best solution. Suddenly, I seemed to remember something, and I asked the question that had been on my mind. Holy-chan, can you tell me why you created the sacred gears? Was it just to give humans a way to protect themselves against other supernatural beings? Or was it simply because you were interested in it? You could say those are both reasons. But the most important reason is actually to prepare for the possibility of an invasion from another world in the future. The lowly goddess explained. What? You know about the evil gods from the DxD world? I looked at the lowly goddess in astonishment. After all, as the strongest and most steadfast god for humanity, she created the sacred gears, both to help humanity and because she found it amusing. I had always thought that only the Great Red knew about the existence of other worlds and was protecting the DxD world. But surprisingly, even the lowly goddess knew about other worlds, and created the sacred gears to resist a future invasion. The DxD world? So you even know the name of the other world. It seems the future of our world has already been invaded? At first, the lowly goddess was surprised that I knew about other worlds. But thinking about the possibility of the DxD world being invaded, the lowly goddess couldn't help but worry. The invasion hasn't happened yet, but it will soon. I said softly. You have a lot of secrets, don't you? I'm really curious about your identity. The lowly goddess looked at me intently, as if trying to see through me. If you want to know my secrets, Holy-chan, you'll have to agree to become my wife. I teased. Your wife? Hey, are you hitting on me? Hearing this, the lowly goddess smiled playfully. Ahem. Just kidding. Let's continue our previous conversation. Seeing her smile, I felt a shiver run down my spine. Well, Holy-chan, those sacred gears you created are fine for dealing with average opponents, but they're far from enough to deal with the evil gods of the DxD world. Although I didn't want to discourage her, I still voiced my opinion. Hearing my words, the lowly goddess asked curiously, Oh? Do you know how strong the evil gods of the other world are? Are they very powerful? They are very powerful. In the future, even the Great Red will be defeated in the dimensional gap during a battle with the evil god from the DxD world. He will be beheaded. I said seriously. Exclamation point. What? Even the Great Red was easily slain? Hearing this, Holy-chan was deeply shocked, her pupils widening. After all, the Great Red was the strongest being in the DxD world, publicly acknowledged. Even she couldn't defeat him. The one who beheaded the Great Red was the evil god Regalziva. And there are other powerful beings from the DxD world, like the evil god Melvazoa. They are all far more powerful than the Great Red. I continued to explain. This is a disaster. The lowly goddess couldn't believe that there were so many powerful beings in the other world. Holy-chan, you don't have to worry about the invasion from the other world. I have a trump card that can absolutely crush them. There's no need to fear defeat. Seeing her expression, I crossed my arms, speaking with confidence. Exclamation point. Are you kidding me? The lowly goddess was incredulous when she heard my words. She had never been so shocked in her life. Chapter 87, The Great War Begins. Sitting beside the lowly goddess, I said mysteriously, when we meet again in the future, I'll tell you my secrets. The lowly goddess stared at me for a moment, then raised her small hands and gently cupped my face, smiling sweetly. All right then, when we meet again in the future, you must tell me your secrets in detail. Since I had such a powerful trump card, she didn't need to worry so much anymore. Feeling Holy's small hands, I was momentarily stunned. Then, I reached out and took Holy's hands in mine, kissing them gently, then smiling and saying, "Your hands are so soft and smooth, Holy-chan. Have you fallen for me?" The lowly goddess froze, then quickly pulled her hands back, a faint blush appearing on her cheeks. She huffed and rolled her eyes. "Oomph, as if I would fall for you. I'm just interested in you, that's all." With that, the lowly goddess went to check on the heavens system, preparing the angelic reincarnation energy I had requested. Seeing the lowly goddess's tsundere act, I chuckled inwardly. It seemed capturing this proud lowly goddess was only a matter of time. Meanwhile, the underworld. The devils were completely unable to sit still. We've confirmed it. The biblical goddess was severely injured in the battle with the Beast Emperor 666, and hasn't recovered yet. The original Mao Lucifer grinned wickedly, his tone sinister. Really? This is a golden opportunity. That's right. Now is the perfect time to take her down. We can't let this opportunity slip away. The other three Mao were also thrilled. After discussing it, the four great Satans decided to launch a full-scale attack. And they set the battlefield in the underworld, in order to maximize the weakening of the biblical goddess and the angel's power. Sometime later, "My lord, the four great Satans have launched their attack. Even with Raphael and Uriel leading the charge, we're starting to lose ground." Michael and Gabriel came to the biblical goddess, worry etched on their faces. The war between the three factions was already intense. Now, with the direct involvement of the four great Satans, heaven's forces were being pushed back. Moreover, the fallen angels were watching from the sidelines, and no one knew what they would do. Michael had no choice but to seek guidance from the Lord. Hearing this, the biblical goddess frowned. These devils never changed, always thirsty for blood. Noticing that Kyoya wasn't present in heaven, the biblical goddess felt a little regretful that she couldn't say goodbye to him properly. "Michael, Gabriel, follow me to the battlefield." Then, the biblical goddess composed herself and spoke with authority. "Yes, my lord." Michael and Gabriel responded in unison. In the underworld, the three factions were engaged in a chaotic battle. Heaven's forces were led by seraphim like Raphael and Uriel. As for the fallen angels, there was Governor General Azazel, Shemhazai, and cadres like Kokobil, leading the fallen angel legions. The most terrifying force was the devil side, which had mobilized almost its entire force. Led by the original four great Satans of the underworld, there were also the pure-blooded devil nobles of the 72 pillars. They had also brought almost all the elites of the underworld to participate in this great battle. The underworld was now filled with explosions, and screams of agony rang out ceaselessly. If it weren't for the powerful beings from all three sides constantly maintaining the barrier containing the devastating energies of the battle, the underworld might have already been destroyed. Suddenly, the four great Satans of the underworld unleashed their full power, catching heaven's forces off guard. The four great Satans, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Leviathan, and Asmodeus, had entered the fray. Seeing the four great Satans make their move, Raphael, Uriel, and the other seraphim looked at them with apprehension, their expressions darkening. Seeing this, Azazel and his deputy, Shemhazai, spread their 12 black wings and flew to the center of the battlefield, staring at the four great Satans. "What's this? Are you planning to take advantage of Goddess's weakened state to start an all-out war?" Actually, the fallen angels had nothing to do with this war. The devils had forced them to participate, fearing that the fallen angels might pull some trickery. Therefore, as the weakest of the three factions, the fallen angels had been playing it safe, while the angels and devils weren't overly focused on them either. Both the angels and devils were keeping a close eye on the fallen angels, wary of a potential betrayal. "Humph. Azazel, don't you think this is a good opportunity? Goddess is severely injured now. This is the perfect chance to kill her. And besides, the world doesn't need such a powerful being." Leviathan sneered. "Is that so? Even though my powers haven't fully recovered, they are more than enough to destroy you devils. Just then, a golden magic circle appeared in the center of the battlefield, followed by a majestic voice. A flash of holy light blasted the 4 great Satans away. As the light faded, the angels' wounds began to heal rapidly. 3 figures now stood in the center of the battlefield. It was the biblical goddess, Michael, and Gabriel. What? Goddess. Both the 4 great Satans and Azazel, along with the other powerhouses, couldn't hide their fear. After all, this was the strongest being in the 3 factions. And the angels, their eyes burning with fervor, knelt before the biblical goddess. Welcome, our Lord. Raphael, Uriel, and the other seraphim breathed a sigh of relief. But Michael and Gabriel knew that their Lord's injuries hadn't fully healed yet. Her sudden participation in this war was cause for concern. The 4 great Satans, who had recovered, exchanged glances, then suppressed their fear and became excited. Ha ha ha. It seems your battle with the Beast Emperor left you severely weakened, after all. Lucifer laughed loudly. Chapter 88, Ascendance of Transcendent, the Unruly 2 Heavenly Dragons. Hearing Mao Lucifer's words, the Bible goddess couldn't help but feel a surge of killing intent. However, to ensure the normal progression of history, she had to feign a state of severe injury. Otherwise, she would have already eradicated all these devils on the spot. After all, both the devils and the fallen angels of this era were far more cruel and vicious than those of later generations. Even after several major reforms, the underworld still harbored many extremist terrorists and psychologically twisted devils. Humph, then come and test if I can eliminate you devils. With that, the Bible goddess immediately erupted with a dense, pure holy light. In an instant, those weaker devils who came into contact with the holy light were incinerated to ashes. The scene instantly descended into chaos, and the screams of the devils echoed throughout. The Bible goddess's power left everyone present deeply shaken. The 4 great Satans of the underworld and the numerous devil elites who witnessed this scene had their expressions turn exceptionally grim. Even though the Bible goddess was injured, the fact that she was still so powerful was beyond their expectations. But they had come too far to back down now. Otherwise, if the Bible goddess recovered from her injuries, the devil race would face annihilation. Let's attack together. The rest of the devils, hold back the angels and fallen angels. I don't think the Bible goddess can last long with such severe injuries. Mao Lucifer roared, then charged towards the Bible goddess. Leviathan, Beelzebub, and Asmodeus exchanged glances, gritted their teeth, and also launched a fierce assault on the Bible goddess. Seeing this, the devils and angels immediately clashed, unleashing a devastating barrage of attacks that tore through the sky, obliterating everything in their path. The explosions were constant. Even the fallen angels were forced to join the fray. The Great War had begun. Meanwhile, elsewhere, I was preparing for my own evolution. I had summoned Rayquaza to stand guard in case of any unforeseen events, and then I mentally commanded, use the Life Level Evolution card. Ding! Life Level Evolution card, used. Evolution commencing. As the system's notification sounded, I could clearly feel my life force surging within me. Buzz! Suddenly, a powerful aura erupted from my body, even shattering the surrounding rocks. Damn, system, why didn't you warn me that evolving would be painful? In the next instant, I was racked with agonizing pain. It felt like my blood was boiling, and a horrifying pillar of light burst forth from my body. Then, a portion of the power within me overflowed, and a dragon's roar followed. Roar! As time passed, the evolution finally concluded. Ding! Congratulations, host, evolution successful. I didn't pay attention to the system's notification. I was still catching my breath, the pain from earlier still fresh in my mind. After a long while, I finally recovered. System, show me my status panel. I mentally commanded the system to display my status. Host, Kyoya Hibari. Bloodline, True Dragon Bloodline, evolved. Strength, Transcendent. Magic Power, Transcendent. Abilities: Divine Beast, Azure Dragon, Soul Power, Mystic Eyes of Death, Perception, Rinnegan, Rumble Fruit, 3 Type of Hockey, Flying Thunder, God Technique, 8 Gates, 6 Powers, Enhanced Chains of Heaven, Dragon's Breath, Dragon Transformation. Pets: Super Shiny Rayquaza, Mauplace, Evolution Potential, Quasi-Transcendent. Inventory: Zanpakuto, Zangetsu, Sword of Promised Victory, Excalibur. After seeing my updated status panel, I was surprised to find that I had directly reached the Transcendent level. And even more unexpectedly, I discovered that I had gained a Dragon Transformation ability. After experimenting with it, I found that I had evolved into a dragon. Then I tried the skill, and in an instant, I transformed into a colossal silver-white dragon. After transforming into a dragon, I couldn't help but marvel. As expected of the dragon race, this physical constitution is ridiculously strong. No wonder dragons have always been synonymous with strength and terror. Just then, I discovered that the time on the space-time travel card was about to expire. I quickly returned to heaven to say goodbye to the Bible goddess. When I returned to heaven, I was told by the angels that the Bible goddess had gone to the underworld to participate in the war. Oh! It seems the 3-faction war has already begun. Then I immediately used a magic circle to travel to the battlefield in the underworld. But when I arrived, I was surprised by what I saw. It seemed like the angels and fallen angels were working together to beat down the devils. The seraphim Michael and the others, along with fallen angel Governor General Azazel and other high-ranking individuals, were all engaging in battles with the powerhouses of the devil faction. Although occasionally angels and fallen angels would clash, it was clear that it was just minor skirmishes. Even the fallen angels' main force hadn't joined the battle, so they had suffered almost no losses. It turns out that Azazel has been playing the role of the neutral observer all along. The devils and angels were locked in a bloody battle, suffering heavy casualties. Roar! Roar! Suddenly, 2 dragon roars echoed from the distance, their power enough to interrupt the ongoing battles between the 3 factions. This is the 2 heavenly dragons? The 3 factions looked on in horror as they sensed the approaching auras of the heavenly dragons. It seemed like they had suddenly barged in. I also saw the task notifications that popped up for the 2 heavenly dragons. Sign-in character, Drag, Albion, task grade, purple, task condition, kill. Looks like it's my time to shine. I muttered to myself and prepared to enter the battlefield. At this moment, the 3 factions were working together to attack the 2 heavenly dragons, the Red Dragon Emperor Drag and the White Dragon Emperor Albion. Originally, Mao Lucifer wanted to warn the 2 heavenly dragons and force them to leave. But who knew that the 2 heavenly dragons, upon hearing this, would not only show no fear but would also start slaughtering the 3 factions. Ultimately, after a discussion, they reached a consensus to eliminate the 2 heavenly dragons first before resuming their own conflict. So, the scene of angels, fallen angels, and devils battling the 2 heavenly dragons unfolded. In order to appear severely injured and to deceive the angels and devils of the 3 factions, the Bible goddess refrained from directly killing the 2 heavenly dragons. Otherwise, she alone could have easily dispatched them. However, to minimize losses on heaven's side, the angels, aside from the Bible goddess, didn't participate in the siege against the 2 heavenly dragons. As for the fallen angels, that cunning Azazel led his cadres, lingering on the periphery, putting in minimal effort. This sight made the 4 great Satans grind their teeth in frustration. Chapter 89, Shocking Everyone, Stronger Than God? Battling the 2 heavenly dragons. Seeing the devils suffer such heavy losses, including several ultimate-class powerhouses, the 4 great Satans were practically spitting blood in rage. Even when surrounded and attacked by so many powerful opponents, the 2 heavenly dragons remained unfazed and defiant. Everyone on the battlefield couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. Terrifying. They're too terrifying. And just then, I entered the scene. Sensing an incredibly powerful aura, everyone stopped fighting and looked over with surprise and suspicion. Could it be an ally of Goddess? But why is there only one person? Or perhaps he's here to help the 2 heavenly dragons? He's radiating a draconic aura. Whether it was the four great Satans or Azazel and the other fallen angels, everyone was on high alert. After all, a powerful and unknown individual suddenly appearing on the battlefield demanded caution from everyone. "Why are you here?" The Bible goddess was a little confused by my sudden arrival but still greeted me with a smile. Nearby, Michael, Gabriel, and the other angels were relieved. After all, the human who had been able to slay the Beast Emperor 666 was undoubtedly incredibly powerful. With his power, their lord wouldn't have to be under so much pressure. "Holy-chan, I'm here to say goodbye. My time here is up, and I have to leave." I looked at the Bible goddess, my tone a little complicated. "I see. In that case, we'll meet again in the future." Although a little reluctant, the Bible goddess still smiled. I took a moment to compose myself, then said, "Before I go, let me take care of the two heavenly dragons for you. I'll leave the rest to you, Holy-chan." Hearing my words, the Bible goddess looked at me tenderly, then nodded gently. "All right, I'll leave it to you." Meanwhile, the devils and fallen angels were stunned to see me. After all, they had never heard of the biblical goddess treating anyone like this. This only piqued their curiosity even more. Just who was this guy? But when they heard my words, they all started to mock me. "Ha ha ha. What a joke. He said he's going to take on the two heavenly dragons all by himself. Yeah. Who does he think he is? He's out of his mind." Seeing the scornful looks of the devils and fallen angels, I didn't bother to pay them any attention. After all, Holy would take care of them. Then, I walked straight towards the two heavenly dragons. To be honest, this was the first time I had seen the true forms of Albion and Drag. They looked quite majestic and imposing. Seeing me approach, and recalling what I had just said, Drag couldn't contain his anger any longer and roared at me, "Bastard! Do you think you can face the two heavenly dragons alone?" Albion also glared at me with murderous intent, his voice cold. "Brat, I don't know who you are, but you're dead." It had always been the two heavenly dragons who looked down on others. Now, they were being looked down upon. It was a great humiliation. In the next instant, the two heavenly dragons unleashed their power, releasing an aura that terrified everyone present. Even the four great Satans, Azazel, and the others were shocked. They hadn't expected the two heavenly dragons to still have so much power after being besieged for so long. "Brat, this is the consequence of underestimating us. Now die." Drag roared, appearing before me like a red phantom, radiating a terrifying aura. I remained calm and activated the Gate of Babylon, firing a barrage of golden noble phantasms at Drag. However, Drag was incredibly fast. He dodged the noble phantasm attacks and opened his maw, unleashing a red beam of light, like lightning, directly at me. In response, I activated Susanoo and blocked Drag's attack, causing an explosion. But seeing that I was unharmed, everyone was shocked. Even Drag was a little shocked. After all, he hadn't held back at all, and his attack had caused me absolutely no harm. But seeing my calm and unfazed expression, Drag was enraged. He activated his penetration ability, a move that could bypass defenses and directly attack the enemy. Albion also unleashed his reduction ability. Albion's reduction could obliterate anything other than inorganic matter. As long as it was a living being, its blood, bones, organs, and soul would all be gradually diminished. Even against gods, it could reliably reduce all parts of their bodies. Seeing the two heavenly dragons going all out, Michael could no longer remain calm. He turned to the Bible goddess and said, "My lord, please allow me to aid him." Although Kyoya was incredibly strong, the two heavenly dragons were still among the top 10 strongest beings in the world. Now that they were going all out, Michael couldn't help but worry. Seeing the Bible goddess remain silent, even Gabriel couldn't sit still any longer. "My lord, if we don't act now, it will be too late," she urged. Hearing this, the Bible goddess turned to the angels behind her and explained calmly, "There's no need to worry. He will be fine. After all, it was mainly because of him that the Beast Emperor 666 was slain. I only assisted a little. His power is not something the two heavenly dragons can harm." Michael, Gabriel, Raphael and Uriel. All the angels. All the angels, including the seraphim like Michael and Gabriel, were shocked to hear the Bible goddess's words. They all stared at her, dumbfounded. My lord, could it be that what you said earlier was true? Michael's voice trembled slightly as he asked. It wasn't that they didn't believe her, but it was just too unbelievable. When they first met Kyoya, they hadn't taken her words seriously, thinking she was just joking or exaggerating. But now, their lord was telling them that I had almost single-handedly killed the Beast Emperor 666, and that their lord had only assisted? Knowing the truth, Michael and the others looked at me blankly, their bodies trembling, their eyes filled with shock. After all, even their lord had said that she couldn't kill the Beast Emperor 666. But now. In other words, Kyoya's power might even be greater than their lord's. Thinking of this, the angels couldn't help but gasp. If that was the case, they were completely relieved. Instead, they felt sorry for the two heavenly dragons. Chapter 90, Transformed into a Silver Dragon, Slaying the Two Heavenly Dragons. Seeing Michael and the others so agitated, the devils and fallen angels were confused, not knowing what was happening. But they didn't bother to speculate, as the two heavenly dragons had already launched their attacks. Looking at me standing in the center of the battlefield, almost all the devils and fallen angels sneered, thinking, that reckless human is dead meat this time. Suddenly, a powerful light flashed, and a thunderous explosion roared. The instant Drag's penetration and Albion's reduction attack struck me, a devastating explosion swept through the area. Mountains crumbled, the earth split open into deep ravines, and a deafening roar echoed. This caused the already unstable underworld to shake even more violently, forcing the three factions to work together to reinforce the area. However, just moments later, as the smoke cleared, revealing the devastated landscape and me standing in the middle of a deep crater, completely unharmed, the devils and fallen angels fell silent. Everyone present, including the four great Satans and Azazel, gulped. In that instant, all eyes on me. They had all assumed that this would be a one-sided slaughter, with the two heavenly dragons completely annihilating me. But the result? Has he reached this level of power? He's becoming more and more exciting to watch, the Bible goddess remarked, her eyes shining with surprise. Seeing that I was completely unharmed, Drag was enraged. How did you block my penetrating attack? Albion widened his dragon eyes in disbelief. How did you survive my poison? Why was it ineffective? His reduction should have worked on any being other than Drag, Great Red, and the infinite dragon god. Even the Bible goddess should have been affected, at least slightly. Yet, this human was completely unharmed. Ignoring the heavenly dragon's questions, I deactivated my mystic eyes of death perception. Although I could have easily killed the two heavenly dragons with the mystic eyes of death perception, that would have destroyed their bodies. Holy wouldn't have been able to create the divine dividing and boosted gear. Are the renowned two heavenly dragons this week? Pathetic, I said, my expression still calm, my tone mocking. Exclamation point. Hearing my words, everyone, whether from the three factions on the battlefield or the gods watching in secret, gasped. This kid, he's really pushing his luck. Can't he see that the two heavenly dragons are about to explode with rage? Now they're definitely going to go all out. I'll tear you apart, you damn brat. Once again irritated, Drag and Albion finally lost all reason. At the same time, Drag and Albion's magic power erupted completely, and even their massive dragon bodies began to emit steam, as if they were ablaze. At this moment, all the powerhouses of the three factions felt a chill. Seeing this situation, I also used my new ability, Dragon Transformation. Roar, roar. A mighty dragon's roar echoed through the battlefield, snapping Albion and Drag out of their rage. Seeing the silver dragon before them, larger than even themselves, they were completely stunned. Not only were the two heavenly dragons dumbfounded, but even the powerhouses of the three factions, including the Bible goddess, were bewildered. What's going on? Wasn't he human? Even if he had a draconic aura, how could he transform into a dragon? The pressure from the giant dragon struck everyone's souls. Although I wasn't targeting them directly, they still felt a primal fear. Dragon Albion felt an instinctive urge to submit, a suppression from a higher-ranking being, a suppression from a superior bloodline. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How can he transform into such a powerful dragon? Aside from Great Red and the infinite dragon god, there shouldn't be any other dragon this powerful. Feeling the tremor in their souls, Dragon Albion roared in defiance. Transformed into a silver dragon, I roared at the sky, my body expanding rapidly. In the blink of an eye, 100-meter-tall silver dragon appeared before everyone's eyes. Ha ha ha, come, two heavenly dragons. Let's fight. Hearing this, Dragon Albion, though shocked, still charged at me fearlessly. Looking at the two heavenly dragons, I felt a surge of fighting spirit. I began to circulate the magic power within my body, a terrifying aura that shocked everyone present erupting from me. I transformed into a silver streak of light and charged towards the two heavenly dragons. In an instant, 3 colossal dragons, one red, one white, and one silver, were locked in a fierce battle. Even against 2 opponents I had the absolute advantage, thrashing the 2 heavenly dragons until they roared in pain. The entire underworld was shaking from the force of our battle. Seeing this shocking scene, Michael and the other angels couldn't help but ask, "My lord, your friend, he's a dragon?" Hearing Michael's question, the Bible goddess simply glanced at them and said, "How should I know?" Boo. Suddenly, a loud noise pulled everyone's attention back. They saw the 2 heavenly dragons roar and ram their heads into the silver dragon. Bang! My dragon form was sent flying a great distance, unleashing a powerful shockwave that spread out in all directions. It instantly blew away the weaker spectators who were watching the battle. Being sent flying like that enraged me. My dragon form began to gather magic power, my body emitting a blinding silver light, shaking the underworld. Feeling the pressure of death, the 2 heavenly dragons roared in defiance and began to attack frantically. But it was already too late. A devastating beam of white light shot from my dragon mouth, striking Drag directly, piercing through him and ending his life. The white beam continued onward, obliterating everything in its path, leaving a bottomless chasm in the earth, a testament to the attack's terrifying power. Seeing his rival Drag die, Albion was even more furious. He disregarded his own injuries and attacked me relentlessly. I stared at him with murderous intent, my dragon claws now coated in a layer of silver light. I swung at Albion's neck. Splat! A silver flash, and even Albion, with his incredible defense, couldn't withstand it. His neck was slashed. After a moment, his head slowly slid off and fell to the ground. The battlefield fell deathly silent. Hiss! Gasps of disbelief echoed throughout the 3 factions. From the gods watching in secret to everyone present on the battlefield, all of them stared at me with shock and awe. Even the Bible goddess was stunned. That wraps up this part of What If sign-in system and high school DxD. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Just a quick reminder, the stories, What If Reborn in Naruto World and What If Transmigrated as Harry Potter, are going on hold soon, as we have almost caught up with the author. So once again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what the next project should be on this channel. I'm currently deciding between these 3 fanfics. What if becoming a mangaka in One Piece world? What if dragon deck user in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. What if transmigrated as a Kanto gym leader? I will be setting up a poll for this, so please vote in the poll and let me know which 2 stories you'd like to see next on the channel. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.